As the mystery of Arkham Tower grows, will the Bat family need to rescue one of their own from within those very walls? Well, let's hop into the pages of Detective Comics number 1049, a continuation of Shadows of the Bat, and find out together, shall we? So then, as the comic opens up, we're actually treated to a therapy session for Anna Volson, the new scissors-themed serial killer who we've seen all throughout this brand new storyline. It's implied that she murdered her entire family one night on a whim, but when Dr. Meridian tries to ask her more about it, she dissociates, saying that it all feels just like a scary movie. Keep that movie stuff in mind, as Volson actually isn't the only inmate of the brand new Arkham Tower that describes their brutal crimes in the same way. Now, as we learned last issue, Batwoman Kate Kane actually managed to infiltrate Arkham Tower as a doctor under the name Lisa Frau. Frau actually starts making friends with Dr. Meridian, and the two decide to go out for coffee. Meridian tells Batwoman how amazed she is at all the great work that Dr. Ware is doing in rehabilitating these criminals, but at the same time she doesn't really trust it because, well, no one can explain how he's doing it. It can't solely be new medication. They kept the inmates doped up at Arkham Asylum, and it just can't be therapy because, well, no other therapy has worked before on them. Why would it all start working now? Meridian also reminds us that she technically doesn't work for Arkham Tower so much as she works for Mayor Nakano, helping to decide whether or not the brand new pilot program should receive extra city funding. Now, later that same day, Batwoman gets taken through the hospital's arts and crafts project. Yes, that's right, they let all these dangerous criminals have scissors despite knowing a bunch of their backstories. And as we saw in flash forwards, it looks like this art class is actually where Volson will end up leading the prisoner revolt later on. For once, though, it's not Volson that Batwoman is obsessing over, but instead another supervillain by the name of Siphon. Apparently, before he went away on his journey, Batman and Batwoman had teamed up to arrest this guy in the first place. And while he and all the other inmates in Arkham Tower seem to be calm and cogent, their artwork would seem to imply something much darker and sinister lurking under the surface. Almost like the real them are trying to speak out through their art. It's actually quite creepy and quite disconcerting, honestly. Batwoman ends up getting called away, though, when she sees one of the maintenance guys getting a little handsy with Anna Volson. A subtle little reminder that it wasn't just the patients at Arkham Asylum that made that place a hell on earth. The staff brought with them their own demons, too. But apparently it goes so much deeper, too, than one maintenance guy abusing his power. We see Dr. Ware taking a meeting with a mysterious woman in party crasher colors. We only get a snippet of the conversation, but it's very clear that they're arguing about drugs and where and when the drops are going to be made. We also discover that apparently a bunch of the different maintenance people at the hospital now are actually party crasher gang members. Though the question is still yet to be answered, is Ware working for the party crashers, or is it the other way around? The biggest reveal, though, of this issue is we discover that Helena Bertinelli, the Huntress, is actually a patient in Arkham Tower right now. You'll remember that she was dealing with the residual effects of her Mr. Vile parasite infection. For a second there, it seemed like she may have been exhibiting psychic powers of some kind, and well, it's just too much for Huntress to deal with, so she checked herself into the hospital. Maybe because she's actively seeking help, maybe because she wanted the Bat family to have some eyes on the inside. Batwoman tries to get Huntress to leave with her, but Helena won't do it. It's clear that whatever is being done to the inmates is being done to her too. Also, despite us not really seeing it yet, in this issue we discover Arkham Tower actually has its own small army of security, all heavily armed and well trained. The only problem is Batwoman can't tell who the real working stiffs are and who are the party crashers working undercover. Needless to say, the Bat family don't feel good about losing Huntress. It feels like the harder they look into this Arkham Tower mystery, the deeper they get pulled in. Nightwing especially is getting impatient. Much like the reader, he knows full well that this whole Arkham situation is one giant powder keg, and it's only a matter of time before it blows up in everyone's faces. And that time might just be coming sooner than anyone could possibly think. Creepy maintenance man comes to Anna's room late in the night, and I don't think you have to be a rocket scientist to know what he's after. Only it would seem that Anna hasn't been taking her medication, meaning that she's more than able to defend herself and indulge in a good old-fashioned serial killer bloodlust. The real creepy extra dimension, too, is she does all this while Huntress is next door. And poor Helena is either unable or unwilling to stop this bloody murder that is happening within earshot as the comic comes to a close. And so that was Detective Comics number 1049, everybody, and once again, again, I must say this Shadows of the Bat storyline continues to keep me interested. This story specifically turned up a lot of the horror. Old Arkham was a gothic nightmare prison, and Arkham Tower is shiny and clean like an Apple store, yet all the same horrible stuff seems to happen. Like any good mystery puzzle too, we know a lot more now. The hospital has been infiltrated on just about every level by party crasher gangsters, but we don't know who they answer to yet. We know at some point in the future the inmates will rebel and try to escape, but is that because they're just evil criminals looking to get out of not paying their debt to society, or is it because they were actively being abused by the staff? And if that second half turns out to be true, how will the Bat family react to dealing with it? Overall, I'd give this one another 7.5 out of 10. This storyline has been consistent, that's for sure. Hey there everyone, it's your pal Cape Joel again, and if you're seeing my face right now, that means you watched to the end of the video, and I'll always be grateful for that. Retention helps in this crazy YouTube game, and so does becoming a patron. If you head on down to the description, you can find a link to my Patreon page. Recently just redid all the tiers, a lot of cool stuff offering up there, exclusive commentaries, exclusive polls, behind the scenes concept art for Capes and Quest. That's the brand new D&D show I've started soon. Never been a better time to become a patron. You can become a patron for as little as $1 a month and help the channel grow and, help me continue to deliver content like what you just saw. So I want to thank you all, and I will see you again next time. Bye-bye.